Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah. It's percolating. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too.
Java,
Percolating.
get a vibe, stay ready.
Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady.
Pull up a chair, yeah, take a sip with me.
Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good morning.
Good morning,
Yeah, the love percolating.
vibe percolating.
Java with Jimmy. Good morning, that morning.
Good morning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
good morning,
Yeah, the love.
vibe percolating.
Yeah,
Java with
Jimmy.
Good morning,
Now, none.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Java with Jimmy.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Java with Jimmy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning. All right, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Ooh, sound a little nasal this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is, and let me just, something's going on here. Okay. There we go. All right. Today is Muesday. Well, Jimmy, what is Muesday? Muesday is the Tuesday after we have a Monday off. It feels like Monday, but it's Tuesday, so we call it Muesday. We are here this morning to hold space for our community. I posted just a few minutes ago. If you did not see it, we have a special guest this morning, and this is probably the third time that I have called upon him and reached out to him and asked him to come into the space with us to induce and chat with us around Black joy. We have Boston's own comedian Jonathon Gates that will join us in just a few moments. He's in the background getting his tea. I'm going to get all I can get out now at him because I'm sure at some point today he's going to make me turn as red as my hat. I'm thinking back to early on when we started, before we had all this wonderful technology, and the system wasn't working right. And he happened to have a plate there with a piece of felt that looked like an offering plate and said, "Send money to Black Java. He needs you." So I will say before I bring him in, the intentionality today was around the transitions of our sister Jacqueline Berry from Winthrop, also our brother Gio from Dorchester. Also, two first responders transition this weekend, one in the line of duty. Our firefighter, I believe it was Robert, I want to get his name right, Robert Kilduff Jr. He was killed in line of duty as a firefighter. There was also the associate commissioner or chief over at EMS, our first responder community, who's a part of our community. Many from our community are dealing and knew both of them. And there, as we've talked about with Brother Carlos and also Brother Joey Bennett last week, a lot of the incidents of late have to do with Black men, and presumably, I'm not a clinician, and if I was, I didn't examine these folks, but you can presume that it points to, and Joey said it as an expert in this space, mental health. And so, all of that being said, we will always share resources. We will always bring in clinicians and providers. But I almost canceled today because I couldn't. It was a lot of weight to come in and be aware of this and try to hold space and share the resources. And so I reached out to Uncle JG that I called him, and we're going to go ahead and bring him in. And I'm telling you, brace yourselves now. We're going to, he can address, he has an ability to use what we use in our culture when we're in crisis and when we're going through a communication of joy often helps us deal. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce to some and present to others Uncle Jonathon J.G. Gates, Boston's own major, most legendary, I would say longest serving comedian.
Yeah, you can say that. Good morning.
Good morning, Unc. First, I want to thank you. Because it was literally less than 2 hours ago, I reached out and I said, "Hey, there's a lot of weight, there's a lot of things going on in community, and would you come and chat with us this morning?" And I see you got your tea rather than your Java.
Yep. Yep.
But uh so I want to ask, first of all, how are you doing? I've had the opportunity to hear your testimony. I know that you believe in addressing mental health. I know that you have had championed and you're a miracle and had some health issues. But I have to ask you first, how respectfully, how's Jonathan doing?
Well, I woke up this morning, Jimmy, and I thank God for another day of allowing me to try to face the challenges. But I'm just happy to be here. A lot of people woke up this morning not here, so I'm winning, as you say. So I'm winning today.
I'm glad that you're here. And I don't know which way to go, whether I think we talk about the seriousness first, and in there, I'm sure you'll induce some joy. But I know that you are aware. I know that you are in community. I know that you see violence. I know that you're aware that, you know, there are issues around domestic violence. And so, from a mental health standpoint, Uncle JG, um, what should not should how can Black men better address their mental health? And I ask that because some of the incidents of late, as I said, presumably can point to unaddressed mental health. Our brother Ty is reported just a couple of days before the incident in Cambridge, he was in a mental health facility. And so, just there's a lot there to unpack. And so I wanted to ask you for your commentary around the importance of Black men addressing their mental health.
Well, I'll say this, and I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. The black neighborhood, the black community, the black family, we've always went under this guy. You have to keep everything in house. Whatever happens in the house happens in the house. When things happen, they don't want no one to know this is happening to that family. This goes back to uncles touching the little girls and going back to pedophilia because nobody's talking about it. Because we try to keep everything in house because we want everybody in your church or your community to think that your family is not broken. There's nothing wrong. So we've been taught to keep everything in house and not to talk. And I think we need to start having a conversation among people that's clinicians, pastors, people like yourself. Just talk to somebody. Doesn't have to have somebody with a degree. Talk to somebody and get it out. This is one thing I'll say about the black community that I'm disappointed in, Jimmy. I grew up with my grandfather and grandmother them taught me. If someone looks like you or you see somebody, speak. It doesn't cost you a dime to say hello because you don't know that person would have left the house with bad intentions because no one cares about them, and you stop and say hello, how you doing today? You might click something in them to make them go, you know what? There is somebody. You know what I mean? So I think that's our issue. We don't communicate because we're taught to self medicate and keep everything in house. That's just my opinion. I can't speak for everybody else. I could be wrong. Somebody else probably get on here and say that Uncle JG's a fool. He has no idea what he's talking about. They might be right, but that's just how I feel.
Based on how you feel, and you've been in community, and you're a couple of months older than me, do you feel that often unaddressed mental health in whatever capacity within families can sometimes lead to a breaking point?
That's not uh, that's in any situation, uh, families, relationship, business venture. Lack of communication can destroy anything if you don't talk about it. Could be a little misunderstanding that gets blown into a grand proportion that doesn't need to be. So that's why conversation is so key. And I'll say this to the women that's listening to me. When a man comes home, he does not care about you had a bad day. He does care, but when he comes home, he just wants you to be his peace. He's been at work all day, and whatever demons he's dealing with at work, may it be racial, may it be financial gold, may it be whatever. When he comes home, he doesn't need you belittling him and bringing him down, adding more to it. He just need his peace. If you respect a man, is very simple. Love is great, but that's not what we care about. We care about respect and loyalty and peace. If you give me my peace, God, go do what you got to do. Go shopping. I'll take care of the bills later. But if you keep me my peace, then I'm good. So, and I'll say that relationships pay a lot. Relationships and family plays a major role in some of these breakdowns that we have in our community because it's a buildup. It just doesn't happen over day. You just don't wake up and use the bathroom, get a bowl of cereal, say, you know what? I think I'm gonna snap today. That's not how it happens. It builds up.
Let me ask you this. You referred to, work. We're in a very interesting time as a people in this country. From your experience, you a black man, you got brothers, you're in community, you're a coach from young people to older. Name some of the things from your perspective that black men are dealing with right now. You name relationships, you name the workplace. Either go deeper into those or others from your perspective.
Well, we're taught as a man, as younger, you're supposed to be the provider. You're supposed to be the foundation. You're supposed to be the peace at home. You're supposed to make sure that your children are learned how to be good citizens, and your wife is taken care of all that. But in saying that, there's always something that throws a monkey wrench into these things. So as a man, you're trained to be, you're taught to be one way. And when you're trying to be that way, and something or someone enters and mess up that peace of mind that you know, your mind will start thinking about ways to try to change it back in your favor. And and this goes back. We'll give you an example. Your your children have never wanted anything in their life because when you was growing up, your parents were struggling. So when you wanted something new, when I was growing up, I wanted new jeans. I didn't get new jeans where everybody got Levi's and Sergio's and Jordans. I got Harry jeans and not from Harry the Greek, my brother Harry. So that's what happened. I had to wear my brother Harry's jeans. So whenever he get into a fight, I said, "Get off the ground! Those are going to be mine in a year." So so when we start getting up and we start being successful, we start giving our children so much that they don't learn what it is to want and work and appreciate the things you give them. So as time goes on, you're doing all this, and all of a sudden your child comes in one day. I hate you, Dad. I hate you, Mom. I can't stand you. I wish I had a different dad and mom. In the back of your mind, I said, and you'd be like, me too. I wish you did too, because you're a disrespectful little thing. And so it starts with little things like that. It starts the mental breakdown of a black man.
I definitely and can attest to observing. I can attest to the struggle. And I've seen in some relationships, to your point earlier, I ran a man's group a couple of years ago. And when you talked about not only the brother coming home from work, being belittled. That's just general. But let's say he comes home one day and opens up. Women tend, to want the men to talk. But Uncle, I have heard men with my own ears, watched them with my both eyes, and said that when they have opened up and tapped into their trauma, to your point of communication, the women in the moment have not received them well, or it's been it's been stated in times of arguments as a gut check. And so
Yeah, yeah. Women that go, oh, you little punk ass. You. What are you talking about? You little punk. You better man up and get out there and fight those demons and go through that fire and go to hell and do whatever. Yeah, those are breaking point to mentally break a man down. And women don't understand. They're just doing what they do. Some women just don't realize what they're doing by when he's opening up and telling you something. Then you criticize what he's telling you. Now you know that happen. He'll never tell you nothing else again in his life ever. Hey, but he'll tell it to his side chick because she listens.
well, I wasn't ready for that. I just want to acknowledge the good bishop, a friend of yours that is in the building this morning, Bishop William Dickerson. Good morning. These are great comments about serious matters in the Black community. And Bishop, I knew that Uncle could speak to them, and also give. You say you're not an expert, Uncle JG, but you've lived a little, and you're wise. And so I want to ask one more question to tap into that wisdom. And this might be the one that transitions us into more comedy. But you reference parents, you reference children. Sir, there's a lot of commentary about our young people, their interactions with law enforcement. It's been reported at least 2 or 3 incidents that girls and teenagers have physically attacked and fought law enforcement with, firearms and things like that. There's always this conversation, sir, of it starts at home versus, and you've been in community, you've worked in nonprofit and know that second tier of like catching our young people if home isn't that great. What is your perspective in dealing with this generation of young people and that thing of it starts at home versus where is there maybe municipal, community, village, I don't know, other levels of accountability? Your thoughts there.
First of all, let me say good morning to the Honorable Bishop William E. Dickinson from from 101 Nightingale Street. Love him to death. Tell him, make sure you tell him I love him to death. He's one of those guys. Whenever I
Hold
call
on,
him,
Uncle.
so you know.
Hold on. He can hear you. He's watching.
Okay, so he's one of these guys. Like on Tuesdays on my show today, the Cookout at 4 p.m. Today it's called Thankful Tuesdays, where I play nothing but gospel. At 6:05, either Bishop Dickerson or Apostle Sherrington East Cotton, they come in and they pray for everybody that has a prayer request. So I thank him for always being there whenever I need him. All right, let's break this egg and make some scrambled eggs right quick. Here's where we went wrong. I do it on stage, and I say, white people, I blame you. It is your fault. The first thing you did back in the 60s and 70s, you found a way to get the black father out the household. When you watch a child be disrespectful in the street to another adult, may it be a police officer, may it be a teacher, may it be the school bus driver, that meant there's no discipline from the father to that child. One thing I do know, when a father speaks, that child listens different than when he listens to his mother. You know what I mean? Even these little boys, like I raised 4 sons, and I tell them all the time, you're supposed to buck up at me because you're trying to be a bull, but always remember, in this fence, I will whip your ass if you try to do too much. So I do not subscribe to the judgment of spare the rod. I don't do that. And when they started telling parents how they couldn't discipline their child. Now it's a difference between abuse and discipline.
Yes, sir.
Abuse is if you go grab a brick in the yard and punch your child in the face. That's an abuse. If you go get a switch and get that child's attention, and I bet that child, listen, when you get a beating, you might think about doing something again. But when you get a whooping, your soul will remind you never ever want to do that again. because beatings hurt your skin, whoopings hurt your soul, and whoopings are the 10 Commandments of things not to do around my house. So when they took corporal punishment out of the household, out of the schools, that's when you started seeing the dynamic and shift. Some of these kids now, I've listened and watched on Facebook and Instagram how disrespectful they are to their mother, and how they talk to. I mainly see how they're disrespectful to their mother. And I tell these young dudes all the time, if you disrespect your mother, you're going straight to hell, because your mother will stand in the corner with you no matter what. You can be caught on TV shooting 30 people. Your mother say, not my baby, not my child. Child's a good boy. No, child, not my child, because your mother will always hold you down. Your father be like, you stupid ass. I told you about hanging with Jeremiah. This is what you're going to get. So we have to get back in setting boundaries. There's no boundary set. I was in my 30s. My grandfather, who raised me in South Carolina, I feared him. When I told you I feared him, because I watched my grandfather, my uncle, which is his oldest son, married another girl from another little child. So my two aunts didn't get along with her. So these three in the yard arguing at the clothesline. My uncle get into it. So now these four, and then my mother joins in with her sister. So it's five of them in the yard fighting. My grandfather yelled, "Hey, didn't I tell y'all to cut that out?" And they didn't listen to my grandfather. 3 minutes later, my grandfather took a water hose, cut it up, and whipped all five grown adults. Whooped them, and that fight stopped right then. So the respect that a grandfather or a father can get in the household go a long, long way. And I tell mothers, just because you take this guy to court for child support, let that man still be in that child's life, because he needs more of that time than you need that check. Because sometimes that check is more, it causes more damage. And you call yourself holding the child away from the father. All you doing is damaging the child's psyche. You want that man in your child's life. You know what I mean? So these are just my opinion and some of my views, and the reviews and the views of Jonathan Gates does not reflect that of Java by Jimmy and his sponsorship. I don't want you to lose your Walmart sponsorship because I say whip your kid's ass.
First of all, I'm not messing with it, no Walmart. There's so much, Uncle, and I really am pleased that this is really going a way where you're sharing wisdom, and in a real conversation with our community, because it I'll be honest with you, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I see what's going on with budget cuts. I see what's going on nationally. I see what's going on, to your point, around the breakdown of the construct of the traditional family and everything that you named. We've been, history. We've been here before.
Hmm.
What is the in this time, in everything you said? We didn't talk a lot about social media, and everything that you said in reference to our young people. They also dealt with COVID. Their socialization is very different. Do you see a off ramp, or there's so much to ask. What should the village be doing, Uncle, to address what's present? And I wonder if you agree that, based on what's going on, are things going to get worse? And then how do we brace ourselves as a Black people to protect our village?
So first of all, you said the young people went through COVID. Well, you know what? Our old asses went through COVID too. So we got through it. So they need to get through it and suck it up. Second of
Oh,
all,
go
second of
ahead.
all, what we need to do now to bridge this gap, we need more men like Bishop Dickinson to open up and talk, like Bishop Randy Muhammad, open up and talk. I was a part of the Muslim 40,000 strong. We would walk into the community and talk, and he has a conflict mediation that he did, and I was a part of like three of them. Where dudes were really trying to kill each other, and they brought him in for like an hour, hour and a half, and come to find out, just by having a conversation. It was a misunderstanding, and they went from "I'm going to kill you" to "Okay, we can talk. Let's talk." So what we need, I'll tell you like this: we need prayer more. We need people to understand how powerful prayer is. And as you said, I am a walking testimony how great God's love is for us. So you can people can't tell me there ain't no God because I was on that doorstep. You remember the movie Poltergeist when they was like, "Walk into the light." Every time I was laying there, when they turned the light on, I closed my eyes. I didn't want to see the light. I wasn't going into the light. I said, "You won't fool me with that." But that in the tailpipe. We're not walking into the light. I'm not going. we we need to. I'll tell you how it can start. You might disagree with me. I know people that lives in a three-family household, like first floor, second floor, third floor, that don't know or talk to their neighbors. Don't know and don't talk to your neighbors. Jimmy, Bishop Dickinson, I grew up on a street called Mattapan Street. My mother, Maggie May, from the end of Mattapan Street, Blue Hill Ave, to Almont Street, knew every household, every parent name, every phone number of those parents, every child's name. So if you was on the other end of Almont and you down by my house acting up, my mother would call, "Hey, you know Charles is down here acting like a little fool." "Yes, ma'am. I hit him in the back of the head. I'm sending him home." So we have to get back to being a neighborhood and stop trying to be a hood. We're trying to live in this hip hop zone where everybody like, "Yo, you don't talk to them. You don't snitch. If you're not a criminal, you're not snitching. You're just being prepared for your family." I'll tell this all the time. When guys like, "Oh, if you seen something, listen to me. Don't do it in front of me because you're going to jail. You are going to jail. You call whatever you want. I'm not going with you." I told a friend of mine, I said, "Me and you cool, but if you about to do some crime, stop this goddamn car and put me out." "No, oh, you listen. You don't want me to go. I'm not good for the defense. I swear to God, I'm not eating peanut butter sandwiches. I'm gonna get up when I want to get up. I'm gonna take a shower by myself, not with 40 dudes. I'm telling you now, don't do nothing in front of me because you are going to jail, sir. And you can send me a letter and say I'm a punk and I'm a snitch. I'm gonna send you one back with me sitting on the porch smoking a cigar with the Corona. Say, yeah, but I'm free, fool." So we have to get back into communication. I was in luck when I went to New Hope Baptist Church. The late great Willie DeBose, he was like the surrogate father for some of the young men that didn't have a father, and he was involved. And I'm quite sure Bishop Dickinson does the same thing in his pulpit with his community. So we have to get these pastors off TV and onto the front porches to talk to these kids. We have to get these fathers in the community. The one first thing you can do as a father, you don't have to be a clinician. You can volunteer for a youth sports. I did football for 20 years, and you become that surrogate father with these dudes never had a father, and you get these little rough edge dudes that never had a man to tell them no. And once you do that, all these young dudes want guidance. They want somebody that they want to do right. But if all they understood was the bad guy outside telling them to go burn this up, go do that. But if you was there to say, "That's not good, Jimmy. That's not what you do," your mother would be so disappointed. "You've been raised better than that, Jimmy. You need to all you need is that positive guy to sit there and give you that perspective of what you should do." Now I'll say this to you. Now if it's a street element, there's always going to be somebody that's going to go against you, but you got to be strong enough in your commitment to say, "Hey, I hear what you're saying, but I'm trying to save this young cat. You already made your decision. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm trying to save this young cat. He doesn't have to be like you. He doesn't have. He can be better than you. He can be better than me. Let's raise the next doctor. Let's raise the next senator. Let's get this together. When you see him come on the block, tell him get off the block. That's not what you want him to do. Tell him go play sports. Tell him to be better. We have to start doing it, and it starts at the household. We need to stop buying these kids $200 sneakers and download the encyclopedia so they can read. Stop buying them a PlayStation and download ancestry so they can understand how great Black history was. We weren't always slaves and niggas. We were kings and we was queens. We did more inventions in this country that they give us service for. And I was going back each day. I find something in Black history that amazes me. You know what I mean? It was Black people who started the first EMS system rescuing people. but the white people took credit for it. You know what I mean? So we have to give. You know what is? Maybe I'm wrong, Jimmy. I think if we never knew how prideful we was, we'd never try to strive to get there. So we need to teach them where we came from and how we got here, so they can say, "Damn, I can do that." I think that's the biggest issue. We don't give them pride in self.
What I heard from you so far, the main thing I heard, Uncle, was communication, conversation, violence prevention, breaking, if things break down in a relationship at home, communicating with our young people. I also, and in that is the village, and in
Hmm.
that is education and awareness of self, our ancestors, the contributions, and it does, and youth workers have said it, clinicians have said it, it does bring a sense of pride. We're bombarded with the trauma and stuff in our DNA, but we don't raise the creation, the creativity. We don't raise the contributions we've made to science and medicine and things like that. So I heard education. I also heard respect. But Uncle, a lot of what I heard is not new. These are things that, go ahead.
No, no, you're right. It's not new, but it's not enforced. See, that's the difference. These children are raising themselves right now because either the mom and the father's too busy trying to perpetuate a life that they really don't live, but they're trying to say, "Yo, I do this, I do that," and the child is learning that and not learning the pride in self. And yeah, you hear it, and you know what it is though. Sometimes you take a tablespoon of something to make you feel better, and the first two tablespoons really don't work. But if you keep taking it, sooner or later it's going to kick in. So what we can't do is take the defeatist attitude, like, "Oh, this ain't working." Oh, it's working. Somebody is listening. If you put 10 kids in a room, and if you move one, you won. That's how I look at it.
Me too. That's always the day I learned that a supervisor told me, he said, "You're not going to be able to save, all the young people." Well, you know me, I cried. I went back to my desk and cried. I was like, "What do you mean we got to save them all?" But then as I worked, I evolved one. If we can save one, that, and then we, move on, not move on, but we move to
No, no,
save.
you're right. No, no, you move on. Out of that group of 10, you save one. Now you get another group of 10, and you save another one. And the next time you might save two or three. But you keep moving on. But the ones that you tried, you keep an eye on them. But you just understand, if it's falling on deaf ears, move on to the ones that want to listen, the ones that want to be saved, the one that appreciates you. Because you can't keep trying to feed people that won't eat.
You dropped a few nuggets today. I'm a little bit over time because I told Uncle JG we do a half an hour. But I want to ask you this, Uncle, because in the village, there are village leaders. There are those that we either ascend to, or in this case, let's just say elect, those that are community advocates. And a lot of the things, Uncle, that's going on, policy impacts them. They do. Municipalities get money to help with violence prevention. They use formulary grants based on how many Black men have been, enrolled in school in third grade, and we're predicting by 12th grade that we're going to need to build another jail. All of that. What do you, and you may have seen some of my commentary. You may have made comments and watching other stuff. The last question I may ask you, depending on where you go, this may not be the last, but how would you describe the state of our Black leadership generally in Boston?
Well, first of all, we don't have to end because you said 30 minutes.
Okay.
I know how black people get. This is like when Bishop Dickinson said, "Okay, we're here to lay Jonathan down. You got 2 minutes to make a comment." And they'll be up there for like 20 minutes. "Jonathan was so good. I remember with the slaves. He had me laughing so hard. Oh my God, he even bought me ticket." Wait, yeah, we'll continue to do what we're not supposed to do. What was the question again?
Question. You almost made me forget. Your thoughts on in the concept of the village that you're talking about, bringing it up to today, some of the ills, some of the support, parental support, violence prevention, domestic violence prevention. There is a policy budget. There's a there. We cannot ignore government.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on how we better how we get more from either government, black leadership in general? It's not just elected leaders. You mentioned pastors. We have community voices and advocates. Just I'm curious of your thoughts about how those that are either entreated or step up as leaders, how they help make happen a lot of the things that you talked about today.
Well, let me start this. The views of Jonathan Gates does not reflect that of Jimmy by Java by Jimmy. This is just my opinion, and sometimes I could be wrong. I'll say this. Let's go back to the household. If you do not teach your children how important it is for civic engagement called voting, if you don't vote for the person that reflects you, you no matter what happens, it doesn't reflect your views. So you have to get out and vote. We go out in the masses to vote for president, but that's not what we need. We need to vote for our Congress and our senators and our representatives. That's where the bills get done. When they talk about Obama couldn't do anything because he was surrounded by Republicans in the House and the Senate. So whatever he threw on the table, they was like, nah, we don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So now with 45 is in there, he throws anything on the table, the Republican got the majority, so they vote everything through just because he's a jerk. I would say when I look for heroes, let's go back, dads, moms, you should be the hero that your child look up to. The Senate, the Congress, and I'll say this, and this is going to ruffle some feathers. Anybody that get paid by the government to speak on behalf of the government don't speak for me. So if you're taking a federal check, how can I trust you that what you're telling me is in our best interest because you got a federal check that you're trying to keep? So you're feeding me what they want you to feed me. I want somebody to sit there and go, I understand what's going on. I understand that your wife just got laid off. So we need to come up with some solutions that she can get a job here. The father is just got out of jail. He's trying to do the right thing. So we need solutions in place to help him get right on the right track to stay so he don't repeat that cycle. So when his children see him bettering himself, they won't repeat that cycle. So all I'm saying is when you watch things that the federal government is leading, especially with 45 being in the forefront, I don't really trust it because it's not in our community best interest. It's in the interest of 45 and the government that's paying them to say the things that they say. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. There could be some great people out there that's getting federal checks and doing the right thing. I just haven't seen it in my time. All right. I can just tell you what I feel. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. If there's anybody that offended by the words that I say, anything that I say, just know I'm talking about how I feel. Which in your campaign, you should worry about what the local guy feels and not what the Senate feels, not what the White House feels, not what the mayor feels, not what the governor feels. That guy that lives next door to you, that guy that sits in the church pew next to you when Bishop Dickinson is talking, that's the guy you should worry about. Those are the people you should concern your kids for. Who get the big dollar people? They're gonna get what they get. But what about Joe Smo, who's struggling right now, trying to get through, and you ignore his needs? When you ignore his needs, that means he can't provide the guidance in his household. Now his child's outside on the street acting wild because there's no guidance because the child goes, you can't even support us. So I got to do something. So we got to put all these in place to help them out, to better themselves so they can better their family, which in turn better our communities.
I said that was going to be the last question. This I promise this is the last one. But again,
Uh,
Uncle, nothing you said here, respectfully, you understand what I'm saying here, is new. I'm bewildered by the fact post-COVID, to your point, young people and a lot of us went through it. Post-COVID, repeat, you refer to him as 45, but he's now also again 47, more empowered, and just it's interesting. COVID 47. Is that not enough to refocus us? Because everything you said, our ancestors in the 40s and 50s they employed, but it seems to be, like you said, these are my thoughts and observations. It seems to be different now. Somebody made a comment from people don't want the village. I get the point about self and protecting my peace, but again, I go back to my point that post-COVID with 47 and what I think is impending with all these budget cuts and things like that, what is the blockage from getting us back to the things that you talked about?
First of all, the person that says that I'm talking about the village and my peace, they are the problem. When we can't get on the same accord for trying to better our community, and because I said something that I think will make better, they look for a way to make it negative and instead of saying, okay, what can we do to better that? What do you suggest? How do we get back to being the neighborhood? How do we get back to being our peace? But what they do, because we in the society of instant text thugs, everybody can get online and try to threaten your peace with how they feel because there's no responsibility to it. Instead of just saying, and this is what's wrong with black people, how can we help Bishop Dickinson do this? He knows what he's talking about. He don't know my family. That's what we do. We'll try to break that foundation of what he's trying to build instead of trying to help grow it. Because it's not your idea doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Somebody can have a great idea, and from somebody having a great idea, you can like, if you add this to it, it makes it a better idea. So we as a people, instead of attacking each other's ideas, let's talk about the ideas and see how we can make it greater. If we do that, we can be so much better. If we go back and revisit history, when we had Black Wall Street, all the black people got together and they bought land and they did that together. We spend trillions of dollars each year on non-essentials that black people got to control. Now, if we did all that and put it back into black people, we'll be so much better. And I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna say. Well, I try to use black people and this, but they're right. Black people, you got to stop killing yourselves. So if you're giving the same service as Joe Smo from West Roxbury, look at his prices and his service and duplicate what he does. Don't charge another black family $200-300 just because you can. If they're going to Peter, who's $200 less than yours, and you're doing the same service, just maybe, if you give better service, you get better clients. You know what I mean? So we are our own worst enemy. We have to start investing in us. And that not only financially, we have to do that mentally, we have to do that spiritually, and we have to do that communally. It come together. These are just my opinion. You know what I mean? So that's what I have to say before I make somebody else upset.
No, it's one, your opinion and thoughts were intentionally requested today, and I knew you could speak to them. And you spoke to a lot there around the fact that, to Dina's point, where some, as you said, are pointing out they don't want peace. I'll be honest, I'm finding a balance of protecting my peace and staying communal and because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
But I heard communication as the key foundation. I just heard a little bit of collaboration that we need to be able to, come together and collaborate. Did I miss anything today? We covered family, we covered mental health, you just talked about basically Black economics. So we covered key factors that will help build the village. And as much as, because my intent was, come on here and we would be laughing all over the place. And while that has benefit, what today was so much more than what I expected, Hunk, because there was like some foundational wisdom points that even if we can't laugh, if we can go back and kind of look at some of the things, because I'm going to chop this up and look at some of the things you said today, I think we'd have less times of needing to induce more joy versus they would just be there because I'll say it, that we as a community are living our best life.
Can I say this?
Please.
I miss the joy of being a black Bostonian. When we got together, had a good time. Do you remember the kite festival we used to do on the golf
Yep.
course, the whole thing running down the hill? The Urban Heat is hosted the kite festival with the Franklin Park Coalition at over there behind the zoo. Do you know when I looked up, there was more white people out than our people? You understand what I'm saying to you?
I do. Now,
That,
now let's name, some of us be afraid to go out because folks be acting that the carnival. I'll just throw that little balance in there.
but we're not going to say different things. There's a jerk in every place you go. There's that one person or one thing that tried to be more than they need to be. But once you allow them to steal your joy and your peace, you've lost already. If you continue to be strong and go out and make sure your children have a good time, and you come together and you meet people you don't know, this is what makes us stronger. And I know some people go, well, that person is not good for me. Well, don't be around that person that's good for you. All I'm trying to tell you, like at the end of my show, comedy show, when I do prayer, I have everybody meet 5 people they didn't know and shake their hands. I said, the hand you shake might offer you a place to live. The hand you shake might offer you a job. The hand you shake might save your life one day out here in these streets. So once we get back to just loving being black, I don't know when it got I don't know where it got to the point that we hate being black and being around black people. I love being black. I get black, black, black. I'm black. I'm a black father. I'm a black husband. I'm a black man. And I love being black. You understand? And if you're a black person in this community, you don't have to agree with me. But if you see me, I'll see you. Let's say hello. And we say hello and we speak, we can move forward because when you say hello and you're with your children and they see you speak to someone that looks like you, guess what they'll start doing? They'll start speaking to someone that looks like them. So now it becomes generational and you're just not there by yourself. So this is the things we have to instill. I know, Jim, you say that it's so much divisive in our community, but just as much as you can name me 6 bad things, I can name you 6 good things.
Yes, sir.
And good can outdo evil if we try hard enough.
I definitely that you point to asset base, and that's something that I excuse me, believe in here. And this, I'll be honest with you, when you host, it's often a hard balance of being aware where people are and trying to address it and being more like my boy was like, you need to start doing Good News Fridays where we just yes, the issues are there, but let's raise what is going on, the good in the neighborhood, to your point of not being the hood.
Yeah.
And we're always going to quote unquote be the hood, but the neighbor in front of that will always keep the hood good. So Brother Chip is in here saying you preaching.
Yeah, Brother Chip, his father was my pastor at New Hope Baptist Church.
Really? I didn't know Chip was a PK.
Chip is a PK. Chip been singing gospel and playing for a long, long time, brother. He didn't just get that great. He's been
Wait a
great.
minute, Chip Greenidge.
Oh, no, not that. I thought you were talking about Andre Devine. Chip. Chip Greenidge. Oh, that boy needs a different kind of help. That boy right there needs a hug every time you see him. That's a different type of Chip there. That old Chipper, that's somebody different.
Shout out to Brother Dre. Y'all call him Chip. He is Bishop Dickerson. Saying, not that Chip.
Not that Chip. No. We're not talking about that Chip. I'll tell you a story about Chip. Remember when I was in the hospital and I was in there for 46 days and Bishop came to see me. I forgot he was there. I remember I got up and Chip came and said, oh my God, I'm glad you're so fine. I prayed for you. I go, whoa, hold on. You prayed for me? No wonder God took forever to heal me. You stop praying for me, man. Do something else. Pray for somebody else.
Uncle JG. All right, man. Now you got what you call it. My cheeks are starting to hurt. Sir, If you did not consent, I would have canceled today's show. I thank you because we accomplished more than we got joy out of this. And
Right.
joy is different from happiness. Joy is not based on Clementina Sherry put this post up that joy is not really based on circumstances and things like that. It's in the knowledge that we know about our ancestors, about ourselves. But we got so many tidbits of like wisdom and just foundational village. Well, I can't say what I wanted to say. Stuff.
Yes, you can. You can say
Not
what you
my
want.
mother and them. I'll say it, but hold on. We got village today.
Stuff.
I muted it out. But that goes beyond, and in times of laughter are definitely important. But you, and I say this respectfully, you exceeded my expectations today, Uncle. For
Thank
real.
you.
For real.
The invoice will be in the mail. Don't worry about it. Hey, listen, I want to touch on something.
Yes,
When
sir.
you first called me, we were talking about mental health in the black community. And you know, as a comedian, whenever I see something in the news go crazy, I go, "Oh, that was a white guy. Oh, that must have been a white guy." Now black people are catching up doing stupid things like white people do. But I'll say this: from the young man, like you said, that was in Cambridge shooting on the street. Now they got him. They got him on trial. You said he did this back in 2020, and he was asking the police to kill him. Somebody in his life should have seen that and said, "Hey, we need to do something here." The young man Stevenson, who got killed by the Boston police, was going through mental health. I say, this is me from the community base. I think our police are not educated enough to determine, to detect mental health issues instead of a threatening issue. I think it's something that should be addressed. That with the police commissioner and the mayor, there should be mental health training so they can find out if someone's going through a mental stage instead of, oh, I feel threatened, and you take their life and all you had to do was sing like Jesus loves me, yes I know, to calm them down. That's what you do. And so I think we need that training from our first responders. And listen, our first responders, they go through so much, and I praise them for what they do. I'll never take that away. And everybody keeps talking about defund the police, defund the police. Yeah, somebody break into your house or beat up your child. The first number you call is 911. Ah, the same people you're trying to get rid of. Listen to me. They have a job. Speaking about mental health and domestic violence, I don't know if you remember seeing the story. I think it happened in Florida or Atlanta. The sister was getting abused by her boyfriend. She called her two brothers to come over and check them. The guy killed both brothers
Yep.
because they came to defend their sister. Instead of them calling 911, which they should have, but as a father, I might step up too, but now we have to be a mental health issues. This mother now and that sister, both brothers were born on the same date and died on the same date.
Saw us. They were like
That's
3 to 5 years apart. I saw that plot.
5 years. They was 5 years apart, born on the same day, and they died on the same day. You know what kind of mental trauma that is for that family? And right now, the pastors in that community, the deacons in that community, the mothers in that community, the fathers in that community need to step up and put a foundation under them so they don't crash out. These are the things we need to do. Like the father for Stephen, who the Boston police is being charged for. This is the time to step up. Every time I go to funerals, everybody go, if there's anything you need, I'm here for you. Yeah, but as soon as the funeral is over and the repast over, you done get your plate. You don't reach back out to the family. That's the time they need you. They don't need you right then just because you gave an envelope and you brought some chicken in. They need you 3 months from then when they're lonely and they're by themselves and they start questioning why. Why? If you're not, this is the time we need to be there for each other so they can lean on each other. Listen, we have to do better. To know better is to do better, and to do better it makes us better. That's just what I'm saying.
You said a lot, Uncle. You said a lot, and I'm not rushing you off, but my bladder is with all this coffee. And at 54, you can't, wait as much. So I don't have a long enough commercial to go and
Look, I can run the show. You might not have a show, but I can run the show till you come back.
Yo, look, that happened one time. My something went out, and Carlos and someone else took over the show. But no, I appreciate you, Uncle, because again, there were so many nuggets here, and I believe that I believe in the concept that, to your point, communication, conversations like these, a parent, a young man that may chime in and hear a point, someone's thinking about coaching, a woman whose husband opened up to her last night and she was probably going to go to work and share something with a family member. Something you said today changed the situation. We literally are changing. I believe that we change society in real time by every conversation. Next time somebody talks about anything that we touched on today, they're going to be further influenced by everything that we said. And so there is just great outcome and impact from today's. And this is the first couple we came in here and cracked up and talked about some serious things. But Uncle, this was the best one. This was
Thank
the
you.
best one. I mean it. I mean it sincerely. So,
But I can't read the comments, and I want to say a couple things before I go.
yes, sir.
One, this summer I'm doing a campaign, and I want everybody to join me. It's called "You See Me, I See You." You see me, I see you. You know what that means, Jimmy? I don't have to know your name. I don't know where you are, but if I see you, I will acknowledge you. Black people acknowledge each other in a room. You ever go someplace, Jimmy, you get invited to, there's a room full of white people, there's like two black people. You look for them and you all nod at each other and say, hey, if it goes down, it's me and you. So we need to do that in our community. So if you see me, I see you. If I'm walking down the street and we connect eyes, just give me the nod. Just give me the nod.
Can I
That
ask you
lets
a
me know.
question? Have
Yes.
you ever, this is a trigger. Have you ever given the nod and they see you and they don't nod back?
No. See now, if I was petty, I would kiss my ass. Then I was trying to be nice to you. But since I'm
Don't
not
say
petty,
anything, but that hurts as a black man.
no, you can't see. There you go. You're being selfish again because what we're trying to do is get them about me. So if I see you today, Jimmy, and I nod and you don't nod back, I see you tomorrow, I nod and you don't nod back. By day three, when I nod, guess what you're gonna do? You're like, for 2 days, he went home like, yo, this old dude with a gray beard keeps saying what's up to me. And his mother, why? What did you do? Nothing. He was just saying what's up. He won't say what's up back.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, the medicine is going to take hold. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
if
sir.
I wanted to be if I wanted to be petty, it's like when you out trying to date a girl and she looks like, hey girl, how you doing? No, you're not my type. You're so thirsty. Chick, I was just trying to say hi to you. Nobody wants you like that. So that's we in the black community got to stop the oh my God, you trying to be my friend, you so thirsty. No, fool, I'm just saying hi. But if we get to that and you start seeing and this start taking hold, I want us to spread this like a virus. Just us loving us. And you know what happens though? Jim, Bishop Dickinson, Chip, if young people see us saying what's up, they'll stop looking at each other cross-eyed and start saying what's up to one another. It becomes infectious. Because now, in the city of Boston, as it get hotter, so does attitudes and tempers. And everything can be downplayed with a hello, a simple hello. Like I said, somebody could be on the way to go do a mass shooting because no one cares, no one talks to them, no one takes them serious. By you just saying good morning to that person, hey, how's your day going today? You, like you said, it might hit a switch that you know what, I ain't gonna do this today. Let me go back home and sit on my porch. So it might make a difference. I know people say it's silly and it's stupid, but you have no idea your little simple hello might save somebody's life.
They feel seen. They feel from not
They
only
feel
going out and
seen.
doing something, but someone came on here and said one day that someone possibly speaking to someone can stop them from dying by suicide. That one
Pretty much.
person that's so I definitely agree. I just had to name when you mentioned a nod because it happened last week and it just hurts. Where I'm like, what up, bro? And they don't. Oh, but if I
But
see
that's
them again, I'm still gonna. What up, bro? You know,
right. And sooner or later, it's going to click in, man. And I'll say this, man. I'll say this. I feel
Oh,
sorry for all the victims. I feel sorry for all the victims that the gentleman in Cambridge shot. I feel sorry for all the first responders that passed away doing their job. I feel sorry for the family that's dealing with the loss of the two sons. I feel sorry for the mothers and fathers in the city of Boston that's bereaving today because someone shot somebody. I feel sorry, and as a black man, my as a black father, my heart hurts. As a black man, I understand we have to do better. I right now, Jonathan Gates, I want to apologize if I didn't do my part in your situation. Please just reach out to me because here's one thing, Jimmy. Remember when I say that I see you, you see me. Now, if Jimmy, you walking down the street, say, hey, young man, what if this young man say, hey, man, thanks for speaking to me. Can I tell you what's on my mind? You might be the catalyst to save somebody's life, Jimmy. You understand what I'm saying? So we as a black community, I know we're supposed to keep everything in house. I know we're not supposed to get in everybody else's business, but we have to be able to look out because if you have children, you want someone to look out for your child, just like you need to look out for somebody else's child.
Uncle, it's interesting that you brought that up. Brother Joey Bennett, yard time, is in the building.
Hmm.
And a lot of what you said about black men, and he's affirming the point where he said exactly what I said, feeling seen. And so it again, today was amazing. I had no idea that we were gonna go this way, preacher. So um I'm gonna get up out of here, and I appreciate you, Uncle. And the comedy jam is on Wednesday nights at the
Hello,
Carver. Can you hear me? Now we Uncle.
I lost you.
Yeah, now I can talk trash like you did me a couple of years ago. Get that Wi-Fi fixed.
Well, you know,
um
if I get federal funded like you do, then maybe I
I
can
don't get
fix it.
don't get no federal funded. Uncle JG, tell us about the comedy explosion. Where is it now? When is it standing? And how do folks get tickets?
Well, the Black Comedy Explosion right now is on every Thursday night at the Carver Den, 82 Talbot Ave. Doors open at 7:30. Showtimes at 9 o'clock. You can get your tickets in advance by Cash App. You can get it by PayPal, and you can get it by Zelle. I do discount advance tickets. Like the tickets are $20 at the door. You get one for 20, one for 15 in advance, two for 25, three for 40, and so on and so on. The more you buy, the more you save. So I'm just trying to get people out, and I believe the Black Comedy Explosion, when people are going through something, this thing here saves a lot of people mental because, like you said, you don't know. I don't know what people are going through, but when they come through, and for that hour and a half, I make them forget about all that. That's when I know I'm doing something. I had a mother say to me one time, she lost two of her sons to street violence back when I was at Slade, and she came to me and she said, "Can I tell you something to you? I've been going through so much, but your spirit lifted me. I needed to be here. And so I feel whenever I can do that, that's my calling. That's what God got me here for. Put a little light in someone's darkness. Once you can put a little light in someone's darkness, that means you're doing something for somebody else besides yourself, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. This is exactly why I called you or text you this morning and asked you. So, Uncle, again, thank you. Thank you for giving us a view of your ceiling. And we'll
Yeah, I wanted you to let you know that I need someone to come paint. So if you know somebody,
I didn't even see it. I'm just messing. But no,
um,
and if you a painter in here and you licensed and insured, inbox Uncle Jonathan. And
there it is.
go get that dollar, but give him good service, as he said.
Listen, can I say this? Because
Yes.
sometimes people say people dodge. If I said anything here that you think I'm off base, inbox me, text me, enlighten me. I'm not afraid to be told or tooled the right way. So you can on Facebook is Jonathan Jonathon Gates, or on Instagram, or either on all platforms. I do it the same way. So if I need to be enlightened, enlighten me. Help me enlighten me. So if someone talk to me, I go, well, you know what? Tip told me X, Y, X, Y. Now I'm gonna listen to you, but I damn sure going to go behind you to make sure you're telling me the truth. Because everybody preaching ain't always preaching the gospel. So
I'm gonna leave that
all
alone.
doctors, like my wife just said, all doctors ain't doctors and all preachers ain't preachers. So yeah, because I talk from the heart. If I'm factually wrong, I'm approachable. Let me know I'm wrong. All right, let me know I'm wrong, and I'll tell you where I came from, and maybe you can understand me. Then that way, maybe I can teach you, and you can teach me, and then that way we can teach somebody else when we run into them. So the word for this summer is, I see you, you see me. That is our calling for the summer. I see you, you see me. As a black person, black man, black woman, our job is to see each other, respect each other, love upon each other. I didn't say go home with them. I didn't say go bring them in your house. Just respect them enough when they see you when you walk by, that we have an understanding for each other.
Absolutely. All right, this is the last thing. On that close up right there, you're giving very Marv Neal.
So no, I'm first of all, I'm older than Mob, and Mob is midnight black, and I'm but a pighead.
I'm talking about the beard and the glasses, Uncle. You
Well, I
giving
had mine before. I had my beard before Mob. So Mob wants to be like me. So you can tell him I said that.
Oh, I'm gonna get a text later. Trust me. Uncle, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll either figure out something Cash App or we'll go. I would like to literally go break bread. You do oysters and sushi and all that?
Oh, I'm allergic to all seafood, bananas, and tomatoes. I'm deadly allergic to those three things.
All right, so then we're gonna have to go somewhere and no oysters, no sea. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm sorry.
sacrifice
Well,
and
you
have
listen. No. You can have yours. I just ain't gonna eat none of that.
you can be
My
around.
business, I can be around it. It doesn't affect me that much.
Not a
So
problem,
I
sir.
can be around it. All
Not a
right,
problem.
So we've been here. We're supposed to be 30 minutes. We're going on an hour, 10 minutes. And I want to say this, and I'm gonna leave you on this. During my comments, if I ruffled, offended, led astray, or you feeling some kind of way by the topics that I say, just know from the bottom of my heart, I really don't give a damn.
Hold on, I got one last question because you're gonna love this. Somebody all the way from Rhode Island said, "So how are you doing a clam bake trip if you can't?"
Well, the reason I can do a clam bake because I don't eat the clams. Listen, just because I go to a hotel full of girls in the hotel, don't mean I have to indulge. I'm just bringing other people that wants to indulge. Now, on that clam and shrimp thing, they have chicken, they got steak, they got pork, they got salad, they got mashed potatoes, they got rice, they got mac and cheese, they got everything but the seed. I don't eat it. You eat it. That has nothing to do with me. Just because I don't, why shouldn't I make sure that you can enjoy yourself?
I know that's right. I know
You,
that's
you
right.
know, just because you know what that's like. That's going back to the black community. Just because Jimmy is divorced and I'm not, don't mean I can't talk to Jimmy and say, "Hey, here's what you, how you doing? What you need." Just because I'm not divorced, don't mean I can't talk to Jimmy. Is he going to rub off on me? No. So I can have my opinion and give people things that I don't have to deal with. But I'm there to give. I started doing these trips, man, because I know a lot of black people in this city. Hey, listen, I know a lot of black people in this city as a child never went nowhere. They never went outside of Blue Hill Avenue. They
Nope.
never went
That's
past
real. Yep.
Fantastic Beach. They never went past Hogan's Pond. So if I put these trips together and you go away for the weekend, you see there's more things in the world to do than shopping down Nubian Square, going to the Braintree Mall. So that's why I put these trips together so that we as black people can see more. Listen, if you have young children, take them on cruises, take them on vacation, let them get outside of what the norm is. The norm is not sitting on the block, brothers and sisters. The norm is them respecting you as a mother and father and say, where we going next?
All right. All right. See, we'll be. You were definitely a preacher because you done closed about 5 times. But these are all, these are all good
And I
nuggets.
say, oh Lord, oh God. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was ready to. Okay, I was about to pull the organ out. Where's my keyboard? I got a whole keyboard here. Uncle, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was immensely so much more that I knew the community needed this. I needed this because as I said, I was going to cancel. So thank you so much for today. And then I'll reach out to set our date to go eat. And I can't give you all the details, but I'll just tell you to hold September 10th to see Uncle JG in person at a major event in this city around Black Joy. So, Uncle, thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, and I do appreciate it. And don't forget, black people. I don't care who's listening, black, white. You see me, I see you. Let's all rejoice in each other's presence. Let's rejoice in our oneness as a community. Can we do that? And then we'll do a whole lot better. All right.
All right. Thank you, Uncle. Love you, man.
Love you too. Y'all have a good one. Hey, my name is Jonathon Gates, and I love you. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Uncle. Have a good day, man.
Peace.
Mission accomplished. So much more than we needed this. And I really thought he was going to come in and have us in stitches. And he did have us in a little bit of stitches, but a lot of the nuggets and the foundation that he laid today, I think was needed along with, the joy. So, as I said, I got to get out of here. And tomorrow's Wednesday. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for We Need to Know Wednesday. We will see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.